Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a map which caught my attention as a fantasy map. It certainly has all the makings of something that's got playability through it and can probably be attacked in a number of different ways. Now, the creator, I didn't recognise the name, but doing a little bit of digging around, I discovered they've changed their name. We've done them 3 times in the past under their old name, Be Wild. Episodes 803, 839 and 1045, where they got 8, 10 then 11 stars. So a creator who is improving as they go, which has got to show something that's worth approval, don't you think? And a good way of showing approval is clicking the like button and of course hitting that notification bell. Thank you very much for all of your support. Today's map is Schaarzen Cove by Nyean, previously Be Wild 58. I think Nyean is a very strong name. I'm very happy to switch to this one permanently. Not that it's anything to do with me. There's your start square. We've got highway coming in from one side and from the other. That will become a talking point. You've got terrain heights which are undulatory and, well, still playable though, as you will see when we get down there. Resources, look at those seams of ore. I've not seen that done before and it works really well. If you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's a little bit boring, but it's not always about the fishing. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC is required today. We'll be using the realistic 1.4.5 European theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT, and there's a short description there to read along. But yes, I've got to say, if you're going to change your name, stick a note somewhere so BonBon realises. Otherwise it'd be, it's my first map. No, it's really not. It really isn't. Anyway, we've got some very clean, crisp standards on today's map. Very few things I want to complain about. I think there are plenty of really interesting, like I say, with the seams of ore running throughout the map is a really nice little thing. And when we have good standards throughout, then there's that going for it as well. Liking this little thing here, that little inlet of water. Again, it's a fantasy map, so we can allow for a few things here and there which kind of break the rules of nature. That one, there's no reason why that couldn't happen in nature, but it just isn't quite what I would call true to realism. But that's okay. It's a declared fantasy map, if nothing else. We've already reached the start square. We came in from this direction. There's more things to talk about on the other side. That will then, you can build across there and connect up here. Now, we'll talk more about why you probably want to connect that directly via highway and not to a city system, because there will be traffic issues if you decide to run that through and into your city itself. So yes, be prepared to find some sort of solution to traffic problems there. Then up here, we've got a Trumpet Intersection there, which is nice and clean and tidy, and a potential buildable location. I wouldn't say a start location. I'd like to see that highway ramp down at ground level up to where it starts bending to the left. But again, that's really not a huge problem. The down ramps going down into the buildable area, I'd like to see sloping just a little bit earlier and probably a little bit shorter. But again, it's not really anything that is a huge talking point. It's just an observation again. Slightly steep on the hills, but not so steep that it becomes a problem. And then we have another trumpety kind of intersection there. Same sort of comments there. I'd like to see it just dropping a little bit shorter, give it a little bit more space to build into. Right, now this intersection, I got a little bit of a grumble. It heads off towards the viaduct. Got a little problem with this one. Not a huge one, nothing that I can't live with. But it's the ramp that goes up on the far side. I'll show you this one here. It's quite a steep ramp, not stupidly steep, but quite a steep ramp, and it comes up and around and heads over. But if we have a little look-see at here, so from that's roughly about the same level, as here. Now if you drew a straight line, maybe via some sort of tunnel system or so whatever, if you did a more direct route, that could be a much smoother ramp through. So a little bit of room for creativity. Would it work? I don't know. We are elevated at ground level here, so again that's something that probably would want to drop down to ground level, but again it's not really a problem, and it might be done deliberately by design, and who am I to complain? Heading across via the tunnels, again good use of tunnels here. This emerges over here. A little bit of elevated section, again very smoothly done elevated section, down to our next potential start location. We're not going over there. Yeah, if you're going to unlock all the tiles using mods, then you've got all the options. If you're going to be playing vanilla, oh hang on, now this I would change. Those tunnel entrances I would move right down here. Reason being that the climb to go up into the tunnel, but then the tunnel does go on for quite a way. And certainly far enough that you could say that you could have this the height change under the soil, and it really wouldn't matter at all. Then we've got this three-way interchange that we see so often used, and it's a really nice one, so why wouldn't you? And then we're heading off towards the fog, which means we'll be able to switch across to the rail. So yeah, what are you thinking so far? You're thinking, actually, this is pretty decent. I would agree. Now the rail, if you were to peel off a little bit from the rail to the left hand side here, look out into the water, you'll find one or two drowned trees. Yes, they are wearing the trunks, ladies, so you are out to look. And gents, of course. Anyway, I just thought I'd point that one out, and then we'll head underground and underground a little bit further till we come out at our tunnel exit. Where is it? It's over here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. We're emerging, and then we jump back to normal view. Right, so got the two lines running parallel. I'm guessing one is going to be for freight and one is for passenger. Of course, you can use it for whatever you like. You can even use it just to sort of like spread the weight. If you're going to have a lot of industry going on, you can spread the weight across both lines. It's a possibility. It's an option. Just depends on how much you're going to be having running. But yes, I would go one ore, one oil. As you see there, one passenger, not oil. It's all the rail did go through the start square, which is an extra bonus for those of you that want to have a rail from the off. And it's smooth and it's level and there's no lumpy bumpies, so there's extra credit going for that as well. There's a lot of good things to say about today's map. A lot of good things. One or two grumbles to come, but nothing that's going to stop you wanting playing it. It is actually a good solid map. We emerge over here. Now, as we're emerging by the water and by the tunnel entrances, exits, there must be surely some drowned trees. And would you believe it? There are some drowned trees there. It's becoming traditional, I feel.
Fed up with vanilla or ploppable parking lots in your city? Wondering what Bonnie Day's Parking Lots Roads is all about? Then you need BonBonB's Parking Lots tutorial. Click the information button below.
And so back to Schaarzen Cove by Nyean, formerly a BWild 58, and shipping routes. I've got nothing really to say about these. We've got a shipping triangle here, which is, as you can see, perfectly adequate for what's needed, and then this smoothly heads off towards the edge of the map over here. It's a boring shipping route, and it does absolutely everything you want it to do, so there we are. Water flow in the start scare, we actually have a spawn point, a light spawn point, but a spawn point nonetheless over here, and do you know what? I think that's going to give just enough weight of water flow over here that you can pop your sewage outflow in here and you can have no problems at all. Right, now there was quite a lot to remember in this second half of the show, and I did record this a few hours ago, so I'm going to try to remember what I'm pointing the camera at and what I'm trying to remember to talk about. Like, vanilla rocks. Now, vanilla rocks can have a glitching when you put them in the middle of the water, and this does have some glitching in the middle of those rocks. However, it's glitching that actually works here. So I'm gonna say credit to the creator for that. That is surprising. I really expected to find some bad glitching on those rocks. Similar elsewhere, and no problems there either. Now notice the bare areas where there are no trees. Now those actually, we're getting to those in a moment. We're coming back to that. We've got here, it's a castle, but it's more than a castle. But before we go to the castle, if we go down the dirt track here, we get down to the essential lighthouse and the pier. And I think both of these work quite well. Even the green around the steps of the lighthouse looks mossy rather than grassy. Yeah, this is more of a citadel than it is a castle. There's plenty of housing going on in there as well. It's an interesting shape. The location is fairly defensible as well. The outside walls, we have obviously got the ditch as well on the outside, but we have the towers with the doors pointing in the right direction. We don't really have any walls going through the towers. They are half and half there, but only in a way that I feel that the builders could actually, you could still do stuff in there, like have storage or whatever. That wouldn't be a big problem at all. And then we have all these houses. Now, they do have this like plate where they're actually stood upon. But do you know what? On this occasion, I think it works. Because if you look at this, you can imagine like these are footpaths that you can lead up and walk up to each and every one of these houses. Now, normally I'm the first one to knock this kind of glitching down. In this occasion, it works very well indeed. So I've got to give credit for that as well. Heading over this way, what was we looking at over here? Yeah, so we've got all these areas where there are no trees. And if we have a look, we're going to the resources now. Where there are no trees, that's where the resources are. So actually, if you're, rather than having to worry about where the resources actually are on the map, like the oil you can see, the ore you can see, and where there are no resources, we have the trees. So you don't even have to worry about going into the overview there. You can just plan around the trees. It's really nicely thought through. So anyway, the start square, I can see possibly some traffic flow. So we've got a highway entrance there. We've got a highway entrance up there and two over there. Now, I had a similar problem with my first map, Merrick's, though. Not quite the same here. But you're going to get a lot of traffic going through the start square once you connect to those two highways up. And if you do that via just a normal city connection, you could have problems. You've got all these other areas to build into as well. Possibly a harbour down here, I feel. That does actually connect to the outside as well. And we've got just loads of buildable spaces. And of course, all the possibilities for industry as well. It's a really very well thought out map. I've got to say all of this. It's very well thought out indeed. It's like indeed the shapes as well, and a good theme. The theme, of course, makes it pop too. Anyway, start square looks like this, and in the start square we've got an asset by a creator we've not seen for some time, and they are really very good indeed. This is the Rep Modern Green SOHO by Reputation. Reputation. That's probably more like it. Yeah, it's kind of like urban rundown, possibly like a Hong Kong or something like that. But then we've got all the green growing in it as well, which is, it just makes it a little bit different. I just think if you're doing some sort of major urban build, why not? I think it's good work. Factoids because factoids. Probably the best factoid since that one about the mosquito. Giraffes. Going from mosquitoes to giraffes. Giraffes are not able to cough. Which, when you think about it, is probably nature stopping it from having the worst sore throat in the world. Modern Green SOHO by Reputation. Today's asset of the day. Makes me think of, I don't know if you saw that Channel 4 film, Patang Yang Kipabang. One of my favourite films, that one. Schaarzen Cove by Nyean. What do you think of it? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Click the I button now in the top right hand corner of the screen. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's the most exciting of fantasy style maps, but it's a good fantasy style map. Is there enough here to make me go, ooh, yeah, let's go for the 4th star? Don't think there is. I think I'm going to go for a high 3. It is bordering a 4th star from me, but I'm going to go for a high 3. Detailing, pretty good standards throughout. Anything really exceptional that makes me want to push it over into that 4th star? I mean, the Citadel's quite good and so forth, but there's just, I'm not being encouraged to give that 4th star here. So again, I'm going to go for a very high 3. Gameplay potential, do you know what? I like this a lot, and I would give an even higher score than I'm about to, but I think there will be traffic flow problems from the start. So I'm going to go for 4 stars right down the middle, and it might have been a very high 4 stars if it weren't for that. Schaarzen Cove by Nyean. That is a very, very nice map indeed. And I think it's borderline falls across the board. So that has got to be that's a good score. That is a good score. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. Don't forget, if you are still here, you are part of the 20 and out elite. Use the words of the day into the comments and score yourself some population points just for fun. And I'll be back tomorrow with another map in the What Map series. And I'm promising you tomorrow's is something special.